Gotye's life is much. The song might have been clicked.
We are watching how one viral song ruined Gotye's life. I just know from the song, but I don't really know from anything else, to be honest.
On over 2 billion.
Gee, I didn't know that crazy. I didn't know more shows like that.
To know impacted Gotye's life is much less widely known.
I felt quite depressed a lot of times, and so that sort of started to really seep out into how the whole of my life was feeling.
We'll give a highly detailed description of how unexpected fame affected him, what role it played in his choice to quit music, and why Gotye's humble nature makes his fate extremely
fair enough, but bro, I
simply didn't know the song would get so popular.
That's crazy,
which isn't surprising since his previous songs were even rejected by local radio.
Damn.
Wouldn't consider playing my records on commercial radio stations.
Gotye therefore
I can't lie,
his music.
The song was banging, but I feel like in 2011 the music industry was moving like to a different type of music, you know what I mean? Whether it's good or bad, I feel like that was the last, like that song could be like banging back in 1990 type shit, you know what I mean? But now I feel that wouldn't work anymore if that was released now.
Popular songs, and while this was still insufficient,
bad take, chat. I'll take a bad take.
I was disappointed when my last album, I couldn't find, say, a label to release it.
There was one single song that was about to change everything. Gotye had spent 6 months writing the world's most relatable breakup song, which he almost scrapped before its release, as he couldn't find.
Sure, that shit was relatable, I guess.
It wasn't sounding amazing, and that was the final straw. I thought I had to let the song go. I thought, wow, I've been sort of waiting for 4 months. It's just not coming together.
Is he Aussie?
Gotye knew the song had potential.
I thought it was a strong song. It had an emotional sort of intensity to it.
Eventually using Kimbra, who was perfect for its music video, which was then leaked to the public, giving Gotye an unexpected advantage.
The video leaked in Australia a week before it was meant to be released, and very quickly started, getting a lot of
YouTube
views.
That's why I'm telling you, most leaks you see from artists like Drake and shit in the diss track, right? They're all on purpose, bro. They're all on purpose to grab some attention, bro.
As mentioned, the songwriter
in that case, it's probably like non-purpose, but like, you know what I mean?
Had even finished, aided by viewers who simply couldn't stop hitting replay.
That's fire, though.
Again, I've listened to it non-stop all day, like I've done for the last 5 days.
That's fire.
I've watched this video over 200 times in the past day, no joke. Honestly, think I'm responsible for half of the views for this. Brilliant song.
Is it that good? Is it that good?
Clip confirming the music video had an influence on
I've
the
heard it,
song's
but
instant
I don't
explosion.
I don't remember being crazy good.
They think the video clip really enhances the delivery of the song. So a lot of people really, responded to the video and wanted to share it with other people. It seems to have shareability.
Gotye stated when it hit the first million mark,
Fox, when YouTube's editing has taken a light, bro. That's crazy.
I was kind of like, okay, something's happening here. Although it seemed he was most satisfied to have finally been played on the radio.
It's the first real hit single I've had in terms of commercial airplay in Australia.
However, the radio stations quickly became insignificant as the song received publicity from a range of famous celebrities. Ashton Kutcher wrote, "This is kind of fantastic. Reminds me of early music vids."
That's what I'm trying to say, bro. I feel like, yeah.
Lily Allen simply stated, "Love this video," while Katy Perry tweeted, "New music discovery for me. Check out Gotye, specifically this song."
Fire. You know, a lot of motherfuckers cause, like, a lot of motherfuckers would cause industry plan too, though, I think. But it could be, I don't know.
The lyrics are so true, with Gotye's rapidly developing audience amplifying the same message.
Fast fire, though.
Absolutely great this song is getting so much recognition. It's gotten more than 7 million views in just 3 months. It went on to break Milestone.
The video alone has more than 65 million hits now on YouTube.
After Milestone,
its unique video has had almost 300 million hits on YouTube.
Jeez.
After Milestone,
it's got like 860 million views.
Bro,
on YouTube or something like
climbing up that fast back is crazy too.
Almost any other ever.
The third most liked video of all time on YouTube with 1.4 million likes.
Although despite making a song that was somehow this famous,
I've read people on Twitter saying they're setting it as their alarm tone.
Gotye made a point to remain extremely humble. 9 months after the song came out, Gotye explained he still drove an old van.
What?
Just last week, your van was stolen. 10 million single sales. What the hell are you doing driving a van?
When asked about what he'd spent his fortune on, he had no interest in luxury.
What is the last huge...
Oh, he won those motherfuckers.
Anything physically big. I really hoped it would be a new van.
In a different interview, Gotye was questioned.
What is the best thing?
Low key, when you're that type of artist, though, you gotta get a house, man. A van's just not secure enough. Is it secure enough, bro?
It happened last year.
To which he'd
If
responded,
you're at that fame,
It probably wouldn't be something to do with a marker of the success of my song or my album. More something like a really great swim I took at Summers Beach near where I live.
which might also explain why he refused ads on his music video, stating, "I'm not interested."
Yo, some motherfuckers just don't want money, bro. I get his passion, bro, but low key, man. Low key, man. If not for you, you can set up a lot of people in your family, right, bro? I can't cap, man. Also, I don't know if you do shit for money. That's not my intention. If it was the case, I would quit by now. But like, man, like, you know what I mean? If I ain't gonna use the money, sometimes, bro, we kind of gotta be smart with it, man. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes you can't be smart with it. It's my opinion. Me personally, he may not want to. He may want to live in the van and do all that stuff, but that could help generations of his family out, man. Like low key, that's my take at least, man. Let me know what you think.
Interested in selling my music. That's the reason I don't put ads on my YouTube channel, which seems strange to people in today's climate, but that is a decision you can make. I'm like that with all my music. I generally never want to cinch my music for products on ads, meaning Gotye willingly—
I mean, even then, I ain't gonna lie, put it to charity, bro. You know what I mean? Like, I ain't gonna lie, man, like, I feel like there's no harm in making YouTube royalties, man. I don't want
profited over $10 million. He'd add that he freely licensed his music to students making films and would even spend his time mentoring people learning music, which was supported by a Reddit post reading, "I sent Gotye a link of one of my
I ain't gonna lie,
tracks
once again, W guy, but he could have started up a music school or some shit, bro, with that money, you know what I mean? Like, money does help people. Even if you don't think it helps you, it helps people for sure. You know what I'm trying to say?
Hell of it when I was a bit drunk. He actually responded and said he liked it. What a great personable dude, attaching the original email to prove that he'd told the truth.
That's
Down
fire
in the
though.
comments, a different
He's a
person
good dude,
shared
man.
the story. We
I
threw
see,
a few
his
emails
intentions are
back
nice
and
though.
forth, and in my last one I said I'd say hello to him at his upcoming show. Anyway, the tick sold out before I could get one, and when I told Wally, he offered to put me on the door list. I can't say enough nice things about the guy. Gotye also gave a shout out to over 100 fans who'd covered the song. However, it'd be through these covers that Gotye first revealed his fame and success had its own list of downsides.
Been a bit burnt out, like seeing another remix, another cover of the song. It's like,
Right.
you know, and a lot. Some are okay, some are quite average, and so I was a bit.
So if you're like a rapper or like no rapper, like if you're a musician now, then how do you actually get past the one-hit wonder stage? Because look, realistically, man, I'm asking you a question. How do you actually get past the one-hit wonder stage? Because now in this climate, man, you don't really have to make a good song. I mean, it has to be catchy, but it doesn't have to be a good song for it to go crazy. You know what I mean? So like, is it like a mode? Like, what do you actually do? Like, is this TikTok and memes and shit? You just make it meme marketing? That's what you do?
Such as the Star Wars that I used to know gaining over 30 million views. It's no surprise Gotye began to feel like he couldn't control the song.
Hearing a lot of bad remixes and edits on commercial radio around the world, like it's so far out of my hands that maybe, you know, my stage name is being badly represented by all these other people doing really crap interpretations.
I ain't gonna lie though, if you put the free royalties.
You know what I mean? With less power over his music, Gotye was no longer as comfortable.
If anything, I have more sort of self-consciousness, or I can sort of see the concerns about like becoming maybe more famous, more being prompted to be more of a personality, you know, being a smaller fish in a bigger pond, if you will.
And when asked on MTV, "Are you comfortable with all the eyes on you?" Gotye responded by stating, "I don't know. I go back and forth, I guess. Maybe anxious at times or overwhelmed by it, or not sure how to process it. Maybe I've sort of got used to how to handle it." This made it obvious that becoming famous wasn't the motive, so much that he'd moved to the other side of the world just to avoid being recognized. Gotye relocated from Melbourne to Brooklyn because there's a pleasant thing in New York where
I'm sure bro made enough money selling with it, right, chat? Surely.
Nobody really makes a fuss. I wouldn't know if people recognize me, or if they do, they're very cool about it and don't mention it. I felt the difference when I came back to Australia last Christmas. Walking into cafes or restaurants, someone would say something really nice and want to chat. I feel a lot more anonymous here in New York.
That's fair enough, bro.
Which is nice, confirming he'd lost the personability he used to enjoy with his audience.
When things get to a certain scale, when things get sort of maybe.
Because look, his audience ain't really his audience, you know what I mean? I'm sure most of his audience didn't really listen to like his other songs, so I guess they're just known from this one thing, and eventually it does get kind of annoying, I guess, right?
Too big. It's really hard to keep it personal. Kind of feels more disconnected to me than when, say, I was making tracks in my bedroom.
This seemingly only became worse after winning 3 different Grammys, where during an interview afterwards, he'd reveal another way he was suffering from success.
I sometimes felt a bit self-conscious about it being such a big song, being one that is about people who don't seem to be able to work out the differences, and the fact that people sort of celebrating that seemed somehow incongruous to me for a while.
Gotye feared his song might have been adding to global relationship dissatisfaction.
I feel a bit self-conscious about that because there is an aspect, you know, a lot of the song is quite angsty and, you know, there's a bitterness and a jadedness to it. I'm not sure I really want to spread, you know, that greater sense of angst or dissatisfaction with failed relationships.
Which was in addition to...
But low-key, the thing is, man, I think is you've had a lot of time with that song now. Yeah, you know when you overthink a situation and just you overthink to a point where it's not the situation. I think Brothers had so like you probably would hear that song for years on end, right? That one song that he's made, and I guess at that point you can't just like he's overheard so much you can't overthink the song in a way, and overthink like why did I do this? You know what I mean?
Song was annoying the world.
The song is really overplayed and probably saturated to the point of absurdity, where I feel like it's out of my hands, but I'm some kind of annoying presence, an audio presence in people's lives that they would prefer not to have there.
He noticed that people were saying, this song is plastered everywhere. I can't go to a mall without hearing it. Whether I like it or hate it, I don't want to hear it anymore.
Obviously they're so sick of it. They feel compelled to tell me how sick of it they are.
And as a result, Gotye apologized for making everyone listen to his song over and over again because of how many times radio stations were playing it. He'd also have to deal with a phony news story claiming that Gotye had died.
What? I was gonna say, it's how the video ends randomly.
YouTube comments such as "R.I.P. Gotye. Now you're somebody that we all used to
Damn.
know." He'd be forced to clarify on Twitter by simply writing "I'm not dead." It seemed his only solution for avoiding the public spotlight was to book an extended American tour. However, his live performances came with a new problem, making his life even harder.
They really do leave after they've heard the hits.
Especially in America, I found.
What have they got?
That's all they want to hear.
Got my money's worth.
Gotye noticed that the rest of his songs weren't quite so popular.
Some people love some songs and hate others, which is just the way it should be, probably.
And perhaps nothing reinforced this more brutally
That's some Steve Ash shit.
than his 2012 Coachella performance. An article explained that after playing his hit single, Gotye performed the rest of his songs to a noticeably smaller crowd, the reason for which was explained by two different people on Reddit. My friend said when he performed at Coachella the year he blew up over this song, it was the first one he performed and then the crowd just left. Lol, I was there for that and can confirm that I left after hearing that song. That's the curse of the one-hit wonder. Gotye seemed unconcerned about this being true.
I mean, people ask me, you know, like whether I worry about being a one-hit wonder. I'm kind of like, don't really mind if I don't ever really have a big hit like that, because I'm a bit like, well, I've had that experience. That's what it was like.
However, it was...
That's a good way of looking at it though. Like, you know what I mean? You came up, you had your experience, you had that quick fame, and you realized you didn't like it. And to be fair, if that's what the best way though, okay, then you come up and you have one banging song, and then you doing that one banging song, and you realize that it wasn't really for you, and then you dip. That's not the worst, man. But imagine he went on a whole album, like he had like 20 banging songs. He'd be mega famous for that shit. And then he realized he'd like the fame. That'd be kind of in a weird way, it's looking a silver lining.
Clear that his future music's performance was still heavy on his mind.
That was such a big hit. What's next for you?
Not as big a hit.
The question came up in so many different interviews.
Does the pressure of somebody that I used to know haunt you when you're writing new songs?
Gotye made it seem as though he was about to make new music.
I'm only going to start writing new stuff this year.
However, when asked about whether he can follow up the track with another smash hit, Gotye responded, I don't know. Time will tell. I don't know whether I can or whether I want to.
Why would you ask that, Loki?
It clearly didn't work too well with deadlines.
You're not afraid of waiting. You're patient. You really want to get it right.
But after 2 full years passed with no new music, people began to post, I wonder what happened to Gotye, while the original music video filled with comments such as, Gotye, alright guys, see you tomorrow. Years ago, my man's dropped the fattest banger in history.
Chay, you reckon that was fucking on purpose though, or is it?
Now he's somebody everyone used to know. However, by this point he'd actually appeared on television, where he was asked the following question.
What do you get?
Coming out.
I don't know. I'm working on things.
And while he didn't sound too confident, there was a barely known reason for this. Just 2 months beforehand, Gotye released a newsletter containing one important sentence. There will be no new Gotye music.
Oh shit!
The newsletter continued, maybe there will be. I'm not entirely sure right now, with the main question being whether anyone would hear his future music. Well, people certainly would, only it wouldn't.
But look, that's like the same reason why people don't start making music. You know what I mean? Like the same reason why people don't start making music or start making content creation, it's like, oh, people find it cringe, or people want to watch it. That's not just start, bro. I feel like he looking in a circle. Like, I'm sure when he started, it was like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if people would listen to this stuff. He started, it went well, and then he had this big song, and then he got conscious of the song, and now he's back to being like, oh, if I make new music now, I don't know if it'll hit well. You know what I mean? It's like a circle.
And be posted under Gotye's name. Throughout his entire career, he'd been making music with a band called The Basics, which became his main project after ditching his solo career. The Basics bass player Chris
That's fine, I was starting a band for the best thing you could do.
Really grown tired of people asking about Gotye, as he'd state. When I see people saying where's Wally online, or making the now he's just somebody that we used to know, I just think, don't you idiots know how to use Google? In the time it's taken you to write that stupid tweet, you could have just Googled it and maybe discovered some great music. He's been
the internet, bro. They play like that.
Recently on the other end. It's so lazy you're not the first person to do that joke. Just shut up. Despite announcing in 2021 that the band had stopped touring, the Basics haven't stopped making music, and there's even been some recent hope for Gotye as a solo artist.
Really?
In 2020, he was named Ari's Australian Artist of the Decade, where he'd announced—
Nah. From one song? It's crazy. Chat, for one
the follow-up
song?
album will be released in the next decade probably, and while his past doesn't exactly indicate that it's coming anytime soon, Gotye's had an outstanding career regardless of his musical future.
So how has this success changed things for you?
When new opportunities come along, they present all sorts of challenges, but they present a chance to learn new things and learn new things about yourself through that process. So,
fair play, bro. Fair play. Don't be Gotye.